Hello, seedlings. Hi, Andy.
Hello, Summer. You teased our listeners.
I did.
That you were excited about the next verse, Joshua chapter 3, verse 5. So we have been waiting a whole week, anticipating.
Not us.
Right?
We got the same clothes on.
That's exactly right. Now we're excited. I'm excited to know why it is that you're excited about the next verse.
Well,
So
after I read it, you'll know why.
all right, let's read it.
But it's not going to have the same, unless I read the first ones again.
Read it.
Okay. So we'll start at the beginning in chapter 3, Joshua 3. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and they removed from Shittim and came to Jordan, he and all the children of Israel, and lodged there before they passed over. And it came to pass after 3 days that the officers went through the host. And they commanded the people, saying, when you see the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, and the priests, the Levites, bearing it, then you shall remove from your place and go after it. Yet there shall be a space between you and it about 2,000 cubits by measure. Come not near unto it, that you may know the way by which you must go. For you have not passed this way. We'll just say before.
Okay, good.
Heretofore. Does that make sense to you guys? And here's my favorite. And Joshua said unto the people, sanctify yourselves, for tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. That's so exciting.
I get excited and probably have goosebumps just while you're reading it, right? Why is that exciting to you?
Brace yourself, people.
That's right. Get ready. Here we go. Why is that meaningful to you?
Why?
Yeah, go.
Oh my
Somebody's looking at it and going like, Summer.
Guys, does that not sound exciting? Like, tomorrow the Lord will do wonders among you. Ugh.
So I got questions.
How do you sleep that night?
But I got questions for you, ready? So what about today?
I know. I know.
What about
today you sanctify yourself.
So today we prep. Today we sanctify ourselves.
Today we
get ready.
See, for me, that'd be like, Summer, start fasting. Summer, stop eating.
So again, if we're not careful, we lose sleep, right? But getting sleep for tomorrow seems important, right? If we're not careful, we spend the rest of the day thinking about it. So if God revealed to us, hey, tomorrow I'm coming back, what would we do today?
Oh my gosh. What would we do, or what would everyone else do?
What would people do?
People would do a lot of things. If they knew Jesus was coming tomorrow.
Can you imagine how hectic today would be in the Christian world?
Oh my gosh.
You'd
see who aren't really Christians, that's for sure.
But we'd be completely lost, right? We'd be stuck between wanting to do the things of Christ. Oh, I got to do it, got to get all these things ready. And then going, oh wait, this is the last day. I want to do all these things for me.
Yeah.
Right? So I'd want to go to my favorite ice cream place. I'd want to have my last Pepsi. I'd want to have all these things. I'd want to talk to this person, this person.
Wait, I thought there's a river of Pepsi in heaven.
There is. There's a river of Pepsi and a tree of ho-hos. But, right?
The tree of life is ho-hos.
We look at these things and somebody's just going to cut. Why is everything so funny? Right? We look at these things and we say, we'd be lost. We'd be lost between selfishness and selflessness, right? Would our first thought be to sanctify ourselves? Would our first thought be go get people ready? Go get people, are you sure everybody around you is going to heaven?
You know what I would do, honestly? Well, I would have to stop eating. It wouldn't matter. Or would I want to eat? Oh, I don't know. Okay, I would want to eat. I'd want to eat a lot of bacon because I'm not going to get any. I'll be like, Jesus, I don't want to get raptured up with bacon in my hand. It's happening.
Wait, one more bite.
Okay, I'm going to speed cook some bacon.
Okay, so we're speed cooking bacon.
Okay. And I'm going to get the people I love. And we are going to get as many people in the boat.
Yep.
Until whatever time it is that he's coming. While we eat bacon. So you get a little bit of everything.
So then why don't we, since we don't know whether or not tomorrow is the day, but God is still asked us to sanctify ourselves, why are people not taking that philosophy?
Because they're deceived.
Because we just keep assuming, right?
Yeah.
We keep assuming that we got another day and another day and another day.
Yeah, even though he says, don't assume tomorrow.
And
He's very clear.
He says, sanctify yourself for tomorrow, right? But again, we've talked a lot about, people have been hearing me say it, you say it, other people, about waiting, right? Waiting patiently. We don't wait as people with no hope, right? We don't wait sitting around twiddling our thumbs like, God, could you just hurry this process? There is stuff to do, right? So when Joshua says to the people, sanctify yourselves for tomorrow we're going to cross, right? What does that entail? What does sanctify really look like to you?
To me, it's getting myself. It's funny, I talked about this last night with someone at Bible study. Getting myself to the place, because somebody asked me about a gift, if I had a certain gift.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no. And they said, well, have you ever asked for it? I was like, I told God if he wants to give it to me and I need it, then he can give it to me. And I'm totally open to it. But I'm more concerned with being in the place where he's like, okay, I can give you this, right? Like, I want to be, listen, if he wants to give me all the gifts or 2 of the gifts or, 5,000 gifts, that's up to him. Not everyone needs every gift. And the Bible says very clearly that not everyone will have all these gifts. So I'm just like, listen, I just want to be in the place where he can use me however he wants to use me and give me whatever he needs to give me and have me do the things that he wants me to do.
Right.
So to me, that's what that is. That's get to the point where you're standing there and you're saying, when he calls, here I am.
Yeah. Amen.
Right? Here I am. And he's like, okay, let's go. Like, I'm ready to do your thing. I'm ready to follow. I'm ready to come behind you. I'm ready for my promise. And yeah, clean up your stuff.
Yeah, I love that. That sanctification is that process of becoming holy, becoming godlike, right? So, like, look at, like, for moments. Are we ready for the moments? I love that. Are we prepared for the moments? Are we really getting ourselves ready? Right? We always talk about this as far as marriage, and are you getting yourself ready for your bride, for your groom, whatever it is?
Well, if you're not, you don't get them, which he clearly showed throughout this whole process. Like, why did they wait 3 more days? There was a reason.
Yep.
It wasn't for fun.
Exactly. Right.
There was a reason.
There's a great reason, right? Again, God is laying out and saying, listen, this process isn't your process. This isn't a human process that you're just making happen, right? So again, there are jobs that you and I can go out and we can just get, right? But then there are jobs, this idea of sanctify yourself. I'm preparing you for a place. I'm preparing you for a job, right? There's a totally different meaning. There's God knows it. God has it ready. God's going to give it to you, but you got to prepare yourself for doing it because it goes from being good to godly, right? Same thing with relationships, right? Same thing with all kinds of things, like where God's saying, listen, this isn't a human thing, right? 2 people can have the feeling of love, get together, get married. That doesn't mean that it's a godly thing. We love to say that. We love God just got to put a stamp of approval. God brought us together. There's a difference when you talk to people who have been really brought together.
Yeah.
Right? But there's the prep. When they look at it, they say, like, man, the things that we went through to get ready for this.
The stories are crazy.
Right. But it's the same thing with children. There are people who just have children. Right? But then you get the stories, and all children are from God, so nobody, please don't write me that. Yeah. But there are the stories of people who've waited 10, 15, 20 years to get their child, right? Whether that's naturally, whether that's through adoption, foster care, whatever it is, there's all kinds of people who wait, and then they look at this and they're like, you have no idea what we went through to get this child. You have no idea what we went through to get to this process, right? Again, processes are from God. He uses them. But there are godly processes and then there are human processes. And what God is saying to these people, from the very beginning, he said to them, you're entering a godly process. You've been in a godly process. Quit looking at it in human eyes. Can you imagine if this whole group of people got into the Jordan River, by the way, right, at flood stage, right, and had tried to figure out how to cross it? Do you know how many lives would have been lost trying to cross it?
Yeah.
Right? But God's like, this whole process is mine. it's the same thing. There are situations where if we plunge ahead and we do it our way, do you know how much damage is done, how much devastation is done, how much...
Yep.
But when we
you
wait,
get an Ishmael.
Right. That's such a great phrase. When I wait for the Jordan to open, God gets everybody safely across.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, he also deals with enemies who are chasing after us and are trying to get us and all of these kind of things, all in the same process, right? So our job is, to really look at this and say, are you just doing your part? Are you allowing God to sanctify you, to get ready for what he has? My problem is I have a tiny little bit of arrogancy and pride enough to think like, I'm ready. Look, I'm ready to give it to me now. Like, I'm ready.
He's like, no.
I'm ready. It's funny because we joke around because frequently I'll use the phrase with you, are you ready? And it comes across in certain moments as goofy, right? It comes across like what, like what, why, what, like. But are you ready is such a relevant term. Are you ready for this moment? Are you ready to experience this moment? Are you ready to do what God has called you in this moment? Are you ready to be who God has called you to be in this moment? It's super, super relevant if we were to look at each moment in our life and say, are you ready?
I think the answer should be thought about more than the question.
Yeah.
Because we just say, yeah. It's like, are you sure?
Yep.
Like...
Yep, I think of that.
Are you sure?
The first time I ever jumped off of a diving board, right? and you'd have this lifeguard standing by there, and you'd get up there, you'd walk out to the end, and you'd be like, oh, and they'd be like, they'd ask you ahead, are you ready, right, for the purpose, because they know what that process is like, and then you could get out to the end of that board, and you can just freeze up. Lots of times, they had to reach their hand out, walk kids back, from that whole thing. But the funny part is that there also is that second where you're like anticipating, and when you hit that water, when you do your cannonball, and it's just fantastic, right? You look at that moment and you're like, I'm glad I was ready, right? I'm glad I took that moment, took it all in, and then did it, type of thing. I think that's what God's trying to get them to understand here also is, are you taking this all in? Are you getting where you've been, how it's prepped for you? Dramatic pause.
Thinking about things.
Yeah, I bet you're thinking about a lot of things.
I'm thinking about the flip side of that.
Go.
I don't know if we should.
Well, you can just tease people and say, like, hey, maybe you'll hear it next week.
Like, can you be too ready for something that you ruin it? Like,
how about the Jewish people waiting for Jesus, the Messiah?
Right. They didn't even see it.
They're so ready for it. They knew all the stuff and they missed it.
But, like, I don't know. Like, I just think about the diving board thing, and then I think about, like, zip lining across, like, some mountain peaks that, things that I've done where it's like you'll spend 20 minutes standing there wanting to vomit. But, like, when you finally do it, you're just like, yeah, I want to do it again, right? Yeah. Or you don't. You want to vomit. But, like...
Or are there times when...
Is it better if somebody just shoves you off the diving board?
Are there times when you're standing there and you have all of your gear on the zip line and you're all ready to go, but you don't think you're ready? Right? And so you don't do it because you've convinced yourself you're not ready, even though you have everything you need for that successful moment.
Yeah, but a lot more people do that and miss out a lot.
They do. But again, can you be sanctified, ready, and God's like, you're ready? Again, we know that's true because God said to Moses, you're ready. And Moses said, nope, not me, I'm not ready.
Choose someone else.
Choose somebody else, right? Lots of people have that moment, right, where God says, you're ready, you're ready, you're ready. It's funny.
Well, just because God tells you you're ready doesn't mean that, see, if you add the human factor, like, you shouldn't be scared if God says you're ready. You should be, like, completely confident. But that's not human. Human is, okay, I'm still scared. I'm still scared because I don't know what it looks like. I might be ready, but that might mean that I'm ready to deal with bad. I don't want to.
Well, and it's God's definition. When God starts you out in the process, when God says you're ready, is he saying to you you're ready to finish the process or you're ready to start the process? Because, again, I don't know that God was looking at Moses or anybody else and saying, hey, you're ready to finish this process
Ready to
right
go
now.
through the ringer?
I think God was just
Hoorah.
saying, you're ready to start the process, right?
You can make it.
Yeah. I was watching
Actually,
Chronicles of Narnia yesterday.
Moses couldn't make it.
That's all over in that movie, right? That book. In the Chronicles of Narnia, you're telling somebody, hey, you've been chosen to be high king, high queen of Narnia. And they're looking at themselves as children going, yeah, right. No, we're not ready.
There were 2 boys and 2 girls, right?
2 boys, 2 girls, right? And they look at this process and they say, huh. Yeah, exactly. They say, huh. And all throughout, the people around them, and Aslan, God himself says to them, you're ready, like you're ready to start this, you're ready. And they just keep doubting and doubting and doubting and doubting and doubting, right? All that God was asking them to do is to start the process, walk through the wardrobe, start the process. Come be at the beginning of what this is about, right? This is all that God's asking these people. Come be at the beginning of this, but be ready for the beginning. Understand from the beginning, it's about sanctification. It's about trying to be holy. It's about trying to be different. It's about putting me first. We can stop now because, self-conviction is all over. So
There is.
just a tiny bit.
Well, seedlings, you don't want to see that.
They just saw it.
All right. Wrap it up, Andy.
No.
Wrap it up, Andy.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Listen, seedlings, Summer was right. She got stuck on verse 5, favorite verse, and it is well worth it. Read it again and again. God is telling you today, prepare yourself what he has for you tomorrow by walking through today right and well. See how that works? Mm-hmm. If you sanctified yesterday for today and you're sanctifying today for tomorrow, it's just this process that keeps going along. So, hey, we're still in Joshua, seedlings, learning about the basics of Christianity. There isn't much more of a basic in Christianity than prepare yourself for what God has for you. We'll see you next time. Seeds.